Hey guys, I look so pale. I can't decide whether to turn that light on or not. Also, I got curtains finally, so that's nice. My shoulder surgery, let's talk about that. I haven't done any updates. I've pretty much been MIA for like months. So now I'm finally gonna say it all. I didn't plan anything. This is very impulsive how I'm doing this. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna update about shoulder surgery finally because I am very bored with my life right now. I'll just start from the very beginning. So first off, my surgery was supposed to be July 20th, but my shoulder was dislocating so much. Like, it dislocated one morning and actually stayed dislocated all day. And it was to the point where if I tried to straighten my arm, my entire arm would go numb and tingly and I wouldn't be able to feel my fingers. Or if like I tried to like reach for something, it would just go completely numb. I eventually got it popped back in that night when I laid on it. But it was just like, it was causing me a lot of pain, a lot of issues. So they were able to move up my surgery to July 13th. I am 5 weeks post-op from yesterday. So I got surgery in the middle of a COVID pandemic. That was fun. I went home to my parents' house that night because my surgery was, I think it was at like 9 a.m. like 9:30, and then I had to be there at 8. You know what, I'm just gonna check my phone real fast. It's not like I have the greatest memory. I should backtrack more. Train's going by. I got like a pre-op exam and everything before surgery and everything was all good. I literally just went, they were like, all right, you look good, okay, you're cleared. I was like, cool. So I got that like a week before. I got COVID testing, it was negative and all that. And then I had my surgery. My surgery was supposed to be at 9:30. I had to be there at 8. And it wasn't in a hospital, it was in like a surgical center. But since we're in the middle of COVID, I wasn't allowed any visitors. So like my mom just dropped me off that morning, waited in the parking lot or something. I don't know what she did. It was all cool. Like I had, you know, the pre-op, all that and everything. First off, I got these really cool socks. You can't see them. They're paw prints. That was pretty cool. This is what I looked like going into surgery. They just gave me an IV. They took vitals and everything, and I was just laying there. I was the only one in the room in like the pre-op part. I thought that I would just be like chilling there and waiting and stuff. And as soon as they finished, they get the IV and they were like, all right, you're headed to surgery. And I was like, what? Like, isn't there more stuff you need to do? And they're just like, no. And then they just start wheeling me in there, and like the anesthesiologist is there, like my surgeon comes and talks to me. Nurses are there and they're all wheeling me into the OR, and I'm so nervous because I'm like, I've had an appendectomy before, but that was like emergent surgery. I was so drugged up before, so I don't remember anything really. So this one, I'm going in like completely conscious and it's like freaking me out. As we're going there, they were like trying to distract me and I was like, yeah, I'm pre-med and stuff, like I want to be a surgeon. They were showing me, actually we passed by the room where they sterilized all the tools, so like the anesthesiologist was like, yeah, like that's in there. And I was like, wow, like I got to see in it. And then the next room was the OR, so we got in there and I literally get off the bed and I sit in like this chair, like it's an actual chair. I was really nervous. I remember I was really nervous, and they were like showing me the whole OR basically while I'm just sitting in this chair like freaking out. And then that's when they did a nerve block. What I remember is them doing a nerve block and then just me falling asleep. But I know the nerve block goes in your neck. I had like literally an incision. Oh, one more funny thing, actually, let me backtrack. While I was in pre-op, they made me with my left, because it's my right shoulder, they made me with my left hand literally write yes in a marker on my shoulder to like consent to my shoulder, which I thought was a little funny. And then I just had yes written on my arm for like a week. Anyway, I don't know, but they were giving me something in my IV and they were asking me if I could feel my arm, and I kept saying yes, I can still feel it. And it was like, I was supposed to feel it from the first one, then it was like 2 injections in and 3 injections in, and I was like, I can still feel my arm. Or I don't know what was going on, but something was going into my IV. They said it was a nerve block, but your nerve block goes into your neck, so I'm really confused now that I'm thinking about it, but something wasn't working. Then all of a sudden, mid-conversation, and I just tapped, and I just woke up in post-op. When they went in for the surgery too, originally the MRI showed a slap tear and a small posterior labrum tear. When they went in, here's a picture of like your shoulder, and then you have like your labrum, which is like the outer part of your shoulder bone. I tore my entire posterior labrum. I didn't have a slap tear. I tore my entire posterior labrum, which is literally like half of it. Half of it was literally torn off of my shoulder bone and pushing up against my rotator cuff. My surgeon said if they didn't get in when they did, I would have had permanent damage to my rotator cuff because it was pushing up against it and damaging it. Because I had had this injury for like 4 months by this point. You could also tell that it had been there for a while because of how much damage it caused my rotator cuff. So basically like they anchored my labrum back onto my shoulder bone, and then they had to fix the damage that occurred in my rotator cuff and like tighten it, I guess. So it ended up being a lot worse than we thought it was, so it was good I got in when I did. I heard that the surgery went really well. I don't remember anything. Here's a picture of me after surgery. I think I was ranting to the nurses about how they need a raise or something. I don't really remember, but as soon as I woke up, I remember I was freezing and I wanted to get out of there. So I kept asking like, can I go home yet? Like, can I go home now? Like, I'm freezing. And then eventually I was still so high off anesthesia, and they put me in a wheelchair. They wheeled me out. I somehow got dressed. I don't know how I got dressed. I did. And they wheeled me out in the wheelchair to my mom's car, and they helped me get in. Here is pictures of me on the ride home. I could not open my eye on the side that I got the nerve block for like hours, so that's why I look like that. I don't know what happened, but I got home. I immediately ran up to my room and cried. I was still very high on anesthesia. I just remember being really uncomfortable and nauseous, and I think I don't like it when body parts are numb on me. Like if I go to the dentist and I have a cavity, I don't get the numbness. I can't think of the name right now. Things being numb is just not okay with me. So the fact that my entire arm was numb and I couldn't even move my fingers, I couldn't feel that these were my fingers. Like I'd be trying to pick things up, like my phone or something, and not looking, and I'd be lifting up my finger thinking it was, and I would look down and be like, oh yeah, that's my finger. I just can't feel it at all. Literally no pain at first. I just remember hating that so much. I was just icing it. I had this huge bandage on and my entire arm was paralyzed and numb. They gave me Dilaudid, which was nice because I have enzymes in my body where I metabolize things like oxy and morphine and all that like much faster than other people, so they don't work for me. So I got Dilaudid, which was nice. It's really, really strong. So I eventually took that, but I was still chilling. Like I was getting some schoolwork done. I started working on my summer classes. Like it was cool. And then right around 10 or 11 o'clock is when the nerve block started to wear off. And oh my God, I was in so much pain. I could not sleep. I was taking double the dosage of Dilaudid by that night. I couldn't move. I couldn't lift up my head. My entire neck was sore. So like any movement hurt so badly. All I could do was like lay on my bed. Even on the Dilaudid, like the Dilaudid wasn't really helping, to be honest. Even double the dosage, taking it every 3 hours instead of every 4 to 6. Like I was just in so much pain that first night. And then the first couple of days were just so weird. So like I was saying, all I could do was lay on my back. I couldn't even roll over. I could barely like lift up my head. Like everything just hurt so much, and I was in this like really tight sling and like this huge bandage. I was kind of miserable, but for some reason all I did was sleep the first like 3 days. Like I would be awake for like 20 minutes at a time throughout the day and the night and just like sleep all day. Like my mom would wake me up to like take a Dilaudid or like have a meal or something. I was getting also like really, really, really bad migraines. Like the migraine was like competing with the shoulder pain. So I was having like cold bags like on me, like I was taking migraine medication. I was not a happy camper after this surgery. And like my dizziness and like my vision was blurry, like basically all the symptoms of a migraine, but like it was weird because I don't get migraines, and how much I was sleeping and all that. I'm so woozy. I'm totally in bed. So we called the surgical center and she was like, oh my God, like see a doctor like right now. We even went to urgent care. Urgent care was like, I don't know what to do for you. Just take more Dilaudid. I was like, are you kidding me? I found out later it's probably because of my neck stiffness and neck pain. And then the sleeping was just from anesthesia and the Dilaudid, but whatever. Pretty much stopped taking my Dilaudid around day 3 because I thought that's what was causing all my migraines and my sleeping. The shoulder pain actually started to get better anyway. Day 3 or day 4 is when I finally took the bandage off. Then I have like the stitches and I just had to put band-aids over them. I still couldn't do really anything. My mom was brushing my own hair. I had to have my mom help me shower, help me get dressed. Like I couldn't do anything for myself because I couldn't move my arm. Even taking it out of the sling to shower, like it wouldn't move. Around day 4 or 5, I started walking around more. I had the sling on still, but like it felt good to kind of stay active more, so that was nice. So I really started to get better. Still had to sleep on my back because I couldn't roll over at all. Then the next Monday, like a week later, I go back to my surgeon, I get the stitches out, and he was like, all right, no more sling for you. So literally a week out of surgery and I'm already out of my sling. Yeah, I don't know. I still physically cannot move my arm at this point, but I was like, cool, because this sling's so annoying. Literally my surgeon was like, all right, you can drive, like you can kind of do whatever, just don't fall on it. And I was like, okay. I didn't really try anything, but I kind of still laid in bed. Come that night, I fell off my bed onto my bad shoulder and caught myself with this arm. Literally in the middle of the night. I wasn't thinking and I was trying to cuddle my golden retriever on the edge of my bed, and then I forgot that my bad arm didn't move and I was laying on my good arm. So when I tried to get up, I couldn't. So when I tried to like take out my arm like from laying on it, I fell off and I caught myself like this. And oh my god, pain all over again. I'm like in so much pain all over again. I didn't know what to do, so I took more Dilaudid and just tried to go to sleep. We immediately called my surgeon in the morning. We're like, okay, so she fell out of her bed like onto her bad shoulder and bad arm. And then he said that it was fine. He was like, we stitched it up so well that there is pretty much no way you could have injured it. He's like, she's fine. I didn't believe him. I was like, no, my arm is so messed up. Like, there's definitely something wrong because now it hurts so much worse again. Like, I couldn't move this whole next day. I couldn't fix my position in bed. I was just laying there and I was stuck. But then I ended up having physical therapy the next day and it was okay. She said it was fine. They just did like very passive stuff because I couldn't move my arm still. Basic like this, just getting my bicep kind of working, just like lifting it like up to here and just like her just doing that. And I didn't have pain with it, which was good. So this is 1 week post-op. I think when I was 1.5 weeks post-op is when I drove the first time. I drove back to my apartment and I had to do it one-handed. Like I couldn't use this arm still. Slowly the pain was going away. I was still having trouble with sleeping. At this point I could start to roll over, and once I could sleep on your back is so hard. So eventually I could like start to roll over and kind of sleep like that. I remember nights were always the hardest though. Like I wasn't getting much sleep either. At night when I would try to get comfortable, like it would hurt. And I would wake up multiple times throughout the night because I had like moved it weirdly or something, and I wake up in pain. I'd get like 5-6 hours a night just because like it was only painful at night. But during the day it was a lot less painful. I mean, changing was still impossible. I had a friend here who helped me, still had to like brush my hair for me, like help me shower. Like I still couldn't really do anything myself, but the pain was getting a lot better at 2 weeks post-op. Yeah, I got the stitches out, like I mentioned. I got little like tape things over my incisions. They were like, they're gonna stay on for like 3 or 4 days and they're gonna fall off on their own, but like don't take them off. They were literally on for like 2 weeks. So now we're into like 3 weeks post-op. And these sticker things are like still on, but I'm having like much less pain. I have so much more movement. I'm getting there. Like I'm in physical therapy 3 times a week. So here's me 3 weeks post-op. Really just having a lot less pain. I'm driving better. I'm showering by myself. I'm able to brush my hair. I was learning how to get changed with my arm. I finally ended up peeling them off because it had been like so long, like 2 weeks, and they were still on. So this is what my scars looked like. They're pretty cool actually. They look like tic-tac-toe in my opinion. I was able to do more. Like I started going hiking and stuff with one arm, but like it was working. I was able to drive better. Just every day I had so much less pain and more movement. Sleeping was still hard. I would still get headaches too if my neck got tight, like back here, which I couldn't really control, but it would just happen. But they weren't as bad either. 4 weeks, I had this range of movement, this range of motion. So as you can see, like it's getting so much better, and it really just wasn't hurting during the day anymore. Unless I did something that made it hurt, it wasn't really hurting. It's mainly at night, middle of the night, and in the morning. So that was really good too. Like sometimes I would forget that I had it, and I would like reach for things or like lift things up with this arm and stuff, and I would just forget, and I'd be like, oh, that kind of hurt. Like I remember I had shoulder surgery. Well, now let's talk about this week because I don't think there's anything else. All right, so this week I'm 5 weeks post-op. And as you can see, it doesn't even look like I had shoulder surgery. Like it's this arm, but like I can do so much with it now. I'm getting so much better. I see my surgeon again for my 6 weeks post-op like checkup, I guess, on next Monday. I think that's when I end phase 1 of physical therapy. Phase 1's all like passive and active assist movements and just kind of getting the range of motion. Phase 2 is, I think he said it's when we start strength training. Starting slow, but trying to get my muscle back. I don't think I really lost much muscle. I'll try to, no, I mean I lost some, but like I didn't lose that much. This is what my scars look like now. So you have the one there. Can you even see it? I don't know. And then this. Yeah. I don't think I recorded this week, so I'm just gonna do a little bit to show you my range of motion. Keep my shoulders back, she said, and then I think there's some popping for like scar tissue, but like it's not that bad. And that was a little bit painful. I have most of my pain down the front. I have shoulder impingement right now, which we're trying to work out because the back part is all like stitched up and still healing. It's like when you move your shoulder, it's like it rotates into the back, but my shoulder can't rotate into the back yet. So it kind of just gets caught and like pinches here and then goes down my bicep. So that's why I have like most of my pain in the front, but we're getting better with that. Like I can do so many more things. I have like some exercises where I like pull a thing down and it lifts my arm up, just like isometrics, which is where like you push and like push, you know, all that. I like wrist stuff. So we're definitely getting there, and I think I'll be able to be throwing by December or January. But it does depend on how the shoulder impingement's going because I have some like inflammation from it. But we're working on it. That's just like the news I got today. I had physical therapy today. Apparently like my arm's gonna be like robotic now. I will make another big update, but if you're watching this now, if anyone's still watching. Yeah, just like the first few days suck. The first week is like okay. And after that, like it's just every day is better than the previous day. And I'm also somebody who hates being hurt. I hate having something wrong with my body that limits me. So it's like really frustrating, but I mean, I'm getting through it. And if anybody else would like more advice or has any other questions, and if you actually watch this, then leave me a comment and I'll answer it. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one. If it's a vlog or another update, I don't know. We'll see. All right, see ya.